2014, stand for pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask the counselor to introduce himself. Somebody for right.
Ellen Zappa.
Rich Wysokowski.
Henry Martin. Derek Carlson.
Mary Fortier.
Calvin Brown.
Town Clerk Teresa Pack. Assistant John Lomella.
And Mayor Ken Kane. We'll have a moment of silence for the troops on active duty. Thank you. Item number 2.
Approval of minutes of the regular City Council meeting on May 13, 2014, and the special meeting on May 21st, 2014, and the special meeting of the Flood Diversion Control Board on April 21st, 2014.
So moved. Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item 3.
Public participation.
Participation. We have Ed.co. Just a reminder, we have a 3-minute.
Okay. I'll wait across.
Name and address for the record, please.
Okay, Ed Dunco, 116 Lewis Road. About the downtown across the street. I'm wondering where we're going with that. I noticed something interesting yesterday, because I know Renaissance Downtown is doing projects in a lot of cities. Hempstead, Long Island, they're doing it in Nashua, New Hampshire. They're trying to do it here. I wonder where you're going on that. Because I saw this in yesterday's Nashua Telegraph, in their newspaper. It said about the Renaissance development in Nashua, New Hampshire. The huge mixed-use development proposed at the mouth of the Nashua River is seeking tax credits so that some of its apartments will be accessible to lower-income people. Now, the project is called this. It's called the Bridge Street Waterfront Development. That's in Nashua, New Hampshire. That's a Renaissance project. To go on with the second paragraph of the Nashua Telegraph. The Bridge Street Waterfront Development is pursuing federal low-income housing tax credits, partly because it hasn't been able to line up enough possible financing to build what could be a $36 million project. Is that what they're going to do here? I mean, if they did that, if they went to, federal tax credit housing, and it'd be a lower income project across the street, what would you do with Renaissance now? Does anybody have any answers? Have you talked to those folks about this yet?
I believe Councilman Martin, under committee reports, is going to be giving us a brief update as far as where we are right now with that.
He will do that today?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing, well, congratulations, you finally sold a lot in my old backyard. Okay? Personally, I think the joint's a little jinxed, but it took 10 years to do that. It did take 10 years, a little over 10 years. 3 or 4 owners are dead. They could have allowed to live there until they died. That's all they wanted. I mean, there's still 412,000 square feet still empty in the old Moody Parcher building with land. That was so neat. That was never needed. I know none of you had nothing to do this on the council at that time, but one guy's still our state rep. I never can understand why. But thank you. I'll listen to your update.
Thank you. Charlie Rose, West.
Good evening, Sean West, 53 Lancaster Road, Bristol, Connecticut, taxpayer. I was looking over a little bit of Renaissance's proposal in the Connecticut Main Street webpage, and I saw a couple things that I thought were not quite in line with American values. I thought economic restructuring, which is on the CT Main Street page, is not really the proper role of government. The proper role of government is to protect property, not to market property or to be in the real estate market or any of that stuff. Unless you can be in the real estate market and work for government, that's something entirely different. If you look at the Renaissance video on the Building A or building 1A, or whatever it is, the half a phase that they're going to do. It says, retail follows rooftops as new businesses want to invest in areas with a critical mass of captive consumers, especially within walking distance. Has anybody thought about what captive consumers really means? Because the way I take it, you're talking about people that aren't going to leave that area. They don't have the means to leave either the transit corridor, they don't have personal automobiles, so they're limited to walking distance. Wikipedia defines a captive market as a market where the potential customers face a severely limited number of competitive suppliers and their only choices are to purchase what is available or to make no purchase at all. Captive markets result in higher prices and less diversity for consumers. Therefore, the term applies to any market where there is a monopoly or oligopoly. Does this sound like the principles of freedom to you? Milton Friedman once said, underlying most arguments against the free market is a lack of belief of freedom itself. Are we at that point in our country where we feel that we cannot have any kind of economy without giving tax dollars away? I don't believe that that's where we're at, but it will be easy to slipperily slide down that slope if we continue to move in this direction. James Madison once said, as the people are the only legitimate fountain of power, it is from them that the constituted charter under which several branches of government hold their power is derived. It seems strictly consonant to the Republican theory to recur to the same original authority whenever it may be necessary to enlarge, diminish, or new model the powers of government. I do believe we might be approaching that, not just because July 4th is coming up. James Madison also said the circulation of confidence is better than the circulation of money. Are you members of the council going to continue doing business with a developer that came in and said they were going to build without a subsidy when they knew they were building smart growth? When they continue to hide the fact that there are millions of dollars in infrastructure required for their project? Are you going to pretend like the developer that that's not coming from public debt? Government is instituted to protect property of every sort, as well as which lies in the various rights of individuals, as which the term particularly expresses. This being the end of government, that alone is a just government which impartially secures to every man whatever is his own. James Madison, founder of our country and our Constitution, said that. Article 1st of the state. Is that it? Okay, thank you.
So we have for now item, I'm sorry, so we have public participation announcements, starting at the far right. The Hoppers Burgess Pond Committee, they had a trail day, and the volunteers worked on different projects around the pond to get things ready. The Housing Authority are getting bids to renovate the Lorenzo Towers and the Gaylord Apartments. Also, they are also looking to purchase 2 new buildings. Fire Board, nothing new to report. And I'd just like to make an announcement that the seniors are having a volunteer dinner tomorrow at 4 at Nucci's to honor all volunteers.
That's it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just one quick one for the School Readiness Council. They've invited Dr. Myra Taylor-Jones, who is the Commissioner of the Office of Early Childhood here in the state, and she'll be visiting June 24th, and they'll be sharing our early childhood program with her. They're a showcase for them.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I found out that occasionally government can work quickly when people get together for a project that's worthwhile. I want to thank Dave Mills for spearheading the effort on the community gardens downtown. We managed to get those up and built, 13 units, 13 gardens and plots built. I believe 5 are rented out now, so it's a start on a good project.
None for me.
I do have a couple. The first thing that I want to let everybody know is that this Saturday, June 14th, will be the last Saturday for Saturday hours at the Bristol Public Library. Make sure everybody buys their tickets for the Muzzy 100th anniversary celebration. It's going to be on July 4th and July 5th at Muzzy Field and in that area of town. So please make sure you buy your tickets and come out for the celebration. I think it'll be a really great time. Then I've got a couple of things from the police department. One thing from the police department, rather, that I'll read out loud. It was a memo given to us earlier today. A paving company out of New Britain, going under the name of Hot Top Paving, has been going door-to-door soliciting driveway paving jobs from residents. According to the Department of Consumer Protection, this company has lost its license to do business in Connecticut. Again, the name of the company is Hot Top Paving. The business owner is operating an older model Chevrolet pickup truck, color black, with yellow writing, Hot Top Pavement, on the side. The individuals promised to do work, take the money, and never return. They are specifically targeting the elderly when canvassing a neighborhood. If this vehicle is observed, residents are asked to contact the Bristol Police Department at 860-584-3011. Again, that's Hot Top Paving, so everybody be on the lookout. And then two more quick things. I work for the Connecticut Center for Advanced Technology, CCAT. We're a nonprofit in East Hartford, and we're running a nonprofit program, we're running a free summer program called YMSA, the Young Manufacturers Summer Academy, for students in between 6th and 9th grade. It's going to be at Kaner Technical High School this summer. It runs for 2 weeks, Monday through Thursday, July 7th through July 10th, and then July 14th through July 17th. So if you know anybody in that age range that's sort of interested in learning about what goes into making a product, is maybe thinking about going to one of the technical high schools when they leave middle school, I really think it's a great program. This will be my second year working on the Young Manufacturers Summer Academy. It involves machine shop floor exposure, safety training, some industry field trips, and career fair at the end that kids always seem to enjoy. So I wanted to put that on everybody's radar. It'll be at Kaner Tech this July 10th, 7th through 10th, and 14th through 17th. And then the last thing that I really wanted to make sure I said under announcements was, and thank you to the mayor's office, to the mayor himself and everybody that works in his office for the communication with the council over these past several weeks involving all of the incidences around town. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to Karen Vibber and Karen Hintz from the Board of Education, who always made sure that they passed along information too, for no other reason than they wanted to make extra sure that everybody was in the loop about what was happening. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank them and thank the mayor and his office. You know, as everybody can imagine, it's hard to keep everything flowing and straight when a lot is going on, but they did a great job, and I thank them for that.
Thank you, Calvin.
Yeah, I'd just like to have a real big thank you to Ed Swickless and Chief Tom Grimaldi for getting the squatters removed at Burgess Pond. And thanks to you guys. I guess they all moved out, correct? Yeah. Again, nice job.
Okay, and I have a couple. This Saturday the 14th from 4 to 8, we're having a car show on North Main Street. North Main Street will be closed. Come down. I believe the weather right now looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. The other one I have is, if everyone's aware, and Calvin just mentioned it a little bit, we had a hectic week last week due to bomb threats. Each threat was taken serious and responded to. I want to thank the Bristol Fire Department and the Bristol PD for the work they've done during those calls. On one occasion in particular, we had 2 schools evacuated at the same time, stretching our resources very thin, but they handled them as if we had only one going on. I'd like to thank the State Police Bomb Squad, who responded, I think on everyone, almost everyone, with 4 dogs, as well as the Bristol EMT, who had an ambulance at every call. I commend the Board of Ed, both administrators as well as teachers and staff, in the schools for the way they handled each school evacuation. The teachers had it organized, very organized, and followed the plan to a T. The Board of Ed responded quickly and put procedures in place to catch the students doing this, and the arrests show how they responded. The Board of Ed, the Police Department, Fire Department, and the Mayor's Office worked together, working to catch who was doing it, stop the threats, and get the word out quickly and accurately. Lastly, I'd like to thank my executive assistants in my office. As you can imagine, my office was a little bit crazy, and they were able to process the information quickly coming in, get it out to the public on social media, and keep everyone informed the best that we can. So I want to thank everyone who responded. It was quite an ordeal, and I'm proud that the way everything was handled. That's all I have on that. Item number 5. Committee reports. Real estate.
Real estate. Okay, I have a motion to bring forward. Hereby move the City of Bristol enter into a lease agreement by and between the City of Bristol landlord and the Bristol Facility Policy Board tenant for 448 square feet of space located in the Department of Public Works for a term of 1 year, dates to be determined, and monthly thereafter. Total rent paid by the tenant shall be $5,584.87 per year, or $465.41 per month for each month, based on the rental rate of $12.46.623 per square foot. I further move this matter be referred to Corporation Council to prepare and/or review any necessary documents. I further move that the mayor or acting mayor be authorized to execute any necessary documents to effectuate the same.
Motion made. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion.
The only discussion, Mayor, would be that this would only be if, in fact, the board